Welcome, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for an amazing conversation that we have planned for the 100 Women to Watch, specifically our campaign called Women Who Own. This is a conversation on the power of being seen, building a legacy, and leading community, and also ownership in its fullest sense. So, not just ownership of property, by the way, but ownership of voice, ownership of visibility, leadership, legacy. Because for women, also being seen is often the doorway of everything else: opportunity, influence, and even generational impact. So I am honored to be joined by Evaughn Person, who is a real estate broker and leader who is not only helping people access home ownership, but also redefining what it means for women to lead their communities with power and also with intention. And what we're doing here is we're also setting the tone for Evaughn upcoming event on April 15th, and we'll get into that, where these themes will literally come to life in an even deeper way. So let's dive in. Evaughn, would you just like to introduce yourself and your company so that people can just know who you are and find you out on the internet just in case they want to connect with you?
Hi, my name's Evaughn Person. I am the licensed real estate broker of record and CEO of Platinum Choice Property Management and Realty Services located in sunny South Florida. I am also a real estate trainer with Mosey Real Estate School. I help sales associates become licensed as well as brokers become licensed. I'm also an RPR trainer. I help people with their comps, help them learn how to do comps. That's comparable market analysis for those who are not familiar with it. That's how you know the value of the home is worth whatever. So I'm also a chair, education chair for the National Association of Real Estate Brokers, South Florida Board of Realtors. I am the education chair and board member at large. I've been in real estate for over 13 years now. My brokerage has been established for over 4 years now. I'm heavy on education. I'm heavy on education. I mentor a lot of agents within the last couple of years. So, and I've also had classes that I've taught on residential real estate, how to lease residential properties, real estate agent 101. I've had a couple of classes that I've actually created to help teach those courses. So I'm heavy on education. I'm heavy on educating my buyers. I give them home buyers guides, help them understand their options about down payment assistance, hometown heroes, grants, bonds, different things like that to help them get into a home. So I'm just here talking to you, and I look forward to everything that we discussed today.
Absolutely. Well, the conversation actually already started. I was like, let's just get on and make sure that everybody can hear this. And that is that you were talking about first impressions and how important they are. And I'm curious, which side or which aspect, were you talking about? Is it from the realtor broker side? Is it from, the buyer seller side? Or were you talking about both?
In general, in
Mhm.
general, no matter what you do, first impression is the last impression. Normally, that's how you step forward. That's how you showcase yourself. Sometimes you don't get a second chance because of how you showed up. So it's important to, you know, be con be conscious about how you show up to people and how you promote yourself when it comes to being on social media, how you carry yourself, how you speak to people. Can people talk to you? Are you approachable by other real estate agents? Can they work with you? Do they like working with you? There's different things that when it comes to business that you want to make sure that you conduct yourself and present yourself in a certain way, respectable, approachable, professional way. So I think that the power of being seen is one of the key things that we have to remind all people in any profession, that you have to be conscious of how you show up, how you look, how you carry yourself, and how you present yourself to the public, as well as to your vendors and your co peers in the industry.
And I'm curious, like for you personally, was there a moment in your journey where you realized that you had to fully like own your visibility and your voice and your leadership? Because you hold a lot of leadership positions, right? But I'm curious, like when did that happen? When did you realize that that was important for you?
Mm. Well, I would say that it was important. Well, I had my first interaction with knowing that I wanted to be in charge of my own self, like when I was a leasing agent, when I worked for WRH Bryant in Jacksonville, Florida. I was mistreated and racially profiled and fired because of, well, this is what the district manager told me. I was fired because I didn't treat a white woman how a white woman should have been treated. Yes. So, yes. So that was my first stage in real estate, being a leasing agent, learning stuff like that. And I was actually really good. I actually was winning awards for leasing the most properties within the last quarter. And it was just a case where I let her in and let another black couple in, and that couple was waiting in the lobby until we opened up. And I told her to give us a minute so that I can make sure that the lobby was opened up at the same time. And she felt that I should have gave her better treatment. Hey, I treat everybody equally. It was raining outside. I wanted everybody to come in and have a seat so they wouldn't be outside wet. A. So anyway, so that was my first impression, and I knew from there that I wanted to have my own property management company, and I wanted to be responsible for my own self when it comes to real estate. I didn't want to have people like that over me and dictate my lifestyle and how I earn my money. So that was my first impression of stepping out and treating people the way that I thought that they should be treated up front in first. So that was my first start in that. And then as I went on, I got into residential real estate, got my license, and I already knew from my experience that I wanted to be a broker. I didn't have an idea that I wanted to be a real estate agent forever. I already knew that. So my first step was becoming a getting my property management designation. And then when I found out that I couldn't actually run a property management without my broker's license, I went for my broker's license because I already knew what I wanted. I had a goal in mind. So that laid the foundation. But I was approached initially by Richard Real Estate in Jacksonville, Florida. And they were the ones who told me if I really wanted to make money, I need to stop leasing and go into real estate. So that's what kicked it off. But it was the motivation behind me being laid off or let go that propelled me into being who I am today. So thank you, ma'am.
Right. And look at you taking that experience and transmuting it into your professional acumen today and your journey and who it is that you are for so many people. I commend you
Yes.
for even being able to articulate the story, right? We don't have to hide behind it. We can be the power and the force and have that be the fuel for the story that we're
Yes.
creating currently.
Absolutely.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Thank you for being your voice and owning your voice and your story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's amazing is that this next question also relates to someone who is in our audience who's saying hello, and that is you work you work in an industry where visibility matters. Not only visibility matters, but visibility for women matters a lot. How has being seen and being seen as a woman in this industry impacted your growth and the opportunities that you have received as a result?
Hmm.
And take your time on this. We can talk it out.
Well, being in the industry, being seen as a woman, when I first came in as a real estate agent, it was just easy for me because I can talk to anybody, and people like for women that can talk. So I could talk to anybody. So I'm approachable, you know. So it wasn't really a intimidation thing. I think that the intimidation thing came along when I got my broker's license because, you know, as an agent, they feel that you're subservient and that you're under, a certain niche. So they treat you a certain way. Oh, she's just an agent. If we got a problem with her, we'll talk to her broker, whatever. But when you become the broker, when you become the owner, when you are the person that they got to speak to, when you are the person that they have to respect in order to get that business and treat right in order to get that business, the whole attitude change. I think that my first impression on standing on business was when I experienced my client being mistreated because they assumed that a black woman only represented black community in real estate, and the actual financial services actually started to mistreat my client. We left them alone mid transaction, and we went with another person that was going to treat them right. Um, I'm the type of person that if you mistreat me, my agents, or my clients, I will not give you business because people don't learn either lack of money or lack of visibility or hurt visibility is what changes them. So if you can't respect and treat my clients or my agents or myself correctly, I'm not going to give you business.
There was an international conversation that I was a part of, and what we were saying is that in America, people, they say thank you with dollars, and they say I'm sorry with dollars.
Yes.
This is what happens. People don't realize that they're also stewarding our choices with business, and you get to be the steward of that choice, Evaughn.
Yes, absolutely. I've actually changed mid transaction multiple times because my client was being mistreated in a transaction. I don't play. If I know you're going to make it, because real estate is already stressful. The transaction is already stressful. People are nervous. They feel like they're signing their life away at the closing table. You should see the papers, the paperwork. They feel like they're signing their life away, and you're giving them more stress, you're giving them more attitude. And I'm the type of person, when I was an agent as well as while I'm a broker, I try to shield them from that drama. I try to take on that brunt of it, and they don't even realize any of that mess that's going on. But as soon as they start feeling what's going on, it's time to change. That's just how I am.
So I'm curious, what what do you see that actually holds women back from doing what you do so powerfully? Being visible, especially in spaces that are tied to wealth and ownership and all the things that come along with that.
I think it's the images. People think that they have to look a certain way or be perfect. Shoot, I'm plus size. I've been plus size all my life. Okay, my entire life. Well, not really. In high school, I was a little slim thick, but yeah, I've been plus size my entire life. The images that you see on TV and on these social media content creators. A lot of them are looking a certain way, and filters be filtering. But a lot of times people think that they have to look a certain way. I mean, look at me. I got locks. I love my locks. My heritage is Jamaican. Mom from St. Anne's, Brownstown. So I'm going to represent who I am. I'm going to be 100% authentic who I am. And I don't care what you think about me. As long as I present myself professionally and speak to you correctly, you should be no problem. I think a lot of times people get stigmatized and think that they have to fit a cookie cutter look. Um, but I haven't been the happiest without wearing a wig. Okay. I mean, I am happy without having to wear a lace front, and I'm good. Okay.
I hear you.
And look how long I can't even put a lace front on this.
If you tried.
Not even if I tried. So I mean, you just have to be your authentic self. That's the main thing. How you show up, how you show up to people. Do people like working with you? I have vendors that I work with. They love working with me. I'm their girl.
Mhm.
And and I've even had one tell me, Yvonne, you know what? Out of everybody that I've been around, you are the main person that always looks out for me. If somebody asks if they need an inspector, you always say my name. If somebody promotes something for home buyers and they need an inspector, you put me down for that. I appreciate it because you don't know how much business that helped me with. That's just how I am, though. But I'm also looking for reciprocation. Don't let me send you business and you ain't sending me nothing. Come on now.
Yes,
And
yes.
I will hold you to it.
I love it. I love it. Again, owning the voice, owning who it is that we are, and owning the exchange, right? It
Absolutely.
gets to be an exchange. So,
Absolutely.
why is it that in real estate it is such an important pathway for women when it comes to like starting or building a legacy? Why are those two things tied together for some reason? Or have you found it to be that way?
It's real estate and insurance. But real estate is because it's an asset. It's a legacy builder. Um, it's a way to create generational wealth. You can borrow from the equity of your home to start a business, to buy other properties, to do other things that you need to do to establish wealth. And guess what? Land doesn't depreciate. Land doesn't depreciate. So real estate, as long as you got the land and the house, you good. I love the fact that some states, especially Florida, is trying to work on eliminate the homestead tax because if you bought the house and you own it, no mortgage, you shouldn't still be paying property taxes on it. You really shouldn't, especially for fixed income seniors that have paid their dues. They've been in their house for over 10 years. There's no reason for them to have to pay a $20,000 tax bill every year or $40,000 or anything like that. That's ridiculous. I could understand if they're still paying a mortgage. Yeah, let them pay property taxes on a house that they're still paying on. But if their house is paid for and they've been paying it all them years, give them a break, you know? So I think that a lot of things need to be adjusted when it comes to home ownership. Number one is property taxes. The second one is insurance. I'm an insurance agent. Oh, well, broker. I have an agency. Legacy Lux Capital Insurance Group, South Florida. I gotta say it. So, yes, I offer life insurance and annuities. I'm soon to be offering some other products and services. Um, Soon also estate planning. So what I am, yeah, ma'am, yes. Because what I am trying to do, I'm trying to help people learn about creating a legacy. Because when it came to our community, and I'm talking about people of color, we have been not educated on how to build generational wealth. It doesn't just start with home ownership. There's other ways that you can build generational wealth. Become an employer, create your businesses, and don't have the business in your name. That's how you become a target. So there's different things that you want to do to build generational wealth, and it is not just based on buying a house. You can go ahead and start the foundation by having businesses, and then let those businesses get you to the point where you can own the house mortgage free in some situations. And there's ways of doing it with a little bit of money. But you just, huh? Yes. So there's a multiple different types of programs, financial services, even mortgages that help you out with purchasing a home 100%. So it just depends on your situation, your location, the city, and different things that you may have be a part of, as far as your occupation that can help you out with purchasing a home. But my thing is, you want to make sure that you don't just focus on the home part, you focus on yourself. Because one thing that I learned from COVID, which was the main reason why I went ahead and got my broker's license and started my brokerage, I got laid off from working for a engineering firm during COVID. And I said from that point on, I will never let somebody else control my income. I was already a real estate agent, but I knew that I wanted to have my own brokerage, and that was a catalyst for me to go ahead and do it during COVID when everybody was laid off and staying home and everything. So it was a good idea for me to go ahead and get that, and I got that. I got my insurance license. When I tell you, when you are let down, that's when you are placed in a position to be um, give yourself a leg up, because there are plenty of opportunities. You can't just sit there and be like, "Woe is me." If you get an unemployment, you should be getting you into a class, learn some AI skills, get your certification in something. What is it? UXUI training certification. Get something, because they need that. They need cybersecurity. They need real estate agents. They still gonna need real estate agents because AI isn't doing everything. But get your certification in AI anyway, so that you can be on top of the game when it comes out and it maneuvers into your field, and you could be the one teaching people how to use AI in their field. Okay, so when I tell you, when you have downtime, when I have downtime, you know what I'm doing? I'm getting my education. I'm taking a class. I'm getting a new niche. That's what I'm doing. As soon as I close on the deal and I'm stressed out and I need to chill out, I'm taking a class. That's what I do.
Got it. Right? Always be expanding.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Jamaican. I know they say we got multiple jobs, but hey, I believe in multiple streams of income. They had it right. Multiple streams of income. Because when one stop working, another one get on.
Mm-hmm. Incredible. Incredible. I like the
Absolutely.
flip on the stereotype.
Yes. Yes.
I'm curious, because I know this is one of your favorite topics, but what are some of the misconceptions that women specifically have about entering the real estate market?
Oh, that they're gonna make a lot of money as soon as they walk into the field. You gotta work for your money, honey. You gotta work for your money. And I mean really work. You gotta be consistent. You gotta have your business set up. How are you gonna come into the business and you don't have your email, your branding, and none of that stuff? How they know who you are? How they gonna remember who you are? You gotta have your business set up first. So the first thing that I would say is when people come into the business, they see these content creators walking into $1 million listings and they think that, oh, that's what I'm going to do. When I tell you the luxury market is a tight knit market and they don't give out secrets, they don't give out secrets. They don't tell you how they got it. And if you do find out how they got it, it's a whisper because they don't shout it. It's a very tight knit um, niche. So you want to work with everybody and everything. They say, oh, focus on one thing. No, don't listen to that. Don't focus on one thing because let me tell you something. The market changes all the time. And it'll be a buyer's market, then it'll be a seller's market, then it'll be a nobody's market. And you got to figure out who else you're going to work with. Then it's a tenant market if nobody's buying or able to sell. Then you got to figure out, oh, well, maybe I need to help businesses buy other businesses. Then it's a business market. Then it's a senior market. Then it's a distressed market. You can't just stay in one field in one ideology or one niche. You got to
Mm,
expand your capabilities because you got to be able to pivot. And if you're
yes.
able to pivot, you're gonna be lost in this business. So when you
Mm,
come in here, you got to know what you want to do. You got to know what your your what is it called, your expertise. What are you already good at? you
yeah.
know are you already good at talking to people? Are you already approachable? Can you sympathize with people when they need to figure out how they're going to survive this distressed market and how they're going to get to their, or be able to stay in their home or
Mhm.
have to move to their home, and how to pivot them into another home, especially if it's a senior? Do you know how to talk to people? Can you teach them or educate them on the steps for buying a home? Can you talk to a new home buyer that's That's high on the hog when it comes to trying to purchase a home, and they don't want to hear nothing else because the builder's agent told them they don't need an agent.
Right.
Can you talk to them and let them know? Listen, the builder's agent don't work for you. Anything that happens with this is on it's going to be on you. And the builder's contract is not the same contract as a normal transaction. So you
Mm,
got to read all the fine lines, and you got to know what you're signing off on. You see all these upgrades, don't get all these upgrades and then be surprised at the bill at the end.
yeah.
Even though they tell you they're going to give you 20K credit on
Yeah.
it, that 20K credit after you done did all them upgrades is like zero.
Wow. Wow.
So, hey, you got to know what you're doing.
Yes.
So you got
Thank
to research. You have to research. You have to research brokerages. Some of them do not support. Some of them just hype branding, and they have people in there that are teams under teams. And me, I came into this industry. I wasn't on no team.
Hmm.
It was just me and another agent trying to figure it out.
Wow.
Once we got it together, we went our own way and did our own thing, and we were able to build and survive that way. Education was the main purpose of it.
Got it. Got it. So that makes sense, right? Why you're so big on education. Like that's what got you started, right?
Yes, because you don't come into the business just knowing everything. You
Hmm.
only get licensed. You only licensed. You're not educated on every niche, or you're not even educated to handle every niche. And
Hmm.
a lot of the public doesn't know that. A lot of agents, when I first got into the business, they had designations. Those designations and certifications were for a reason, because that lets you know they were capable of handling certain types of transactions. Everybody is not capable of handling certain types of transactions. They have to have experience in it. And it's their ethical requirement to have a mentor, somebody helping them with their first transaction if they've never done it before.
Hmm. So you're saying sometimes that happens out in the industry. Maybe sometimes it doesn't. Ah.
Sometimes they're winging it.
Woo.
And they need to be getting mentors and guided, and that's why they have to research the brokerage that they join, because
Got it.
everybody is not the same.
Yes. Yes. Okay. This question, and this may be our final question,
Ooh.
is that I've noticed anyway that you're not just building a business, you are building community. And I'd love to ask you, what does leadership look like for you in this season? And please feel free to mention the event going on the 15th.
Well, this season, what leadership looks like to me is educating the community on on the different opportunities that they have, not only with home ownership but also with um, estate planning and legacy building, because legacy building isn't just with real estate. Like I said, you can do it with insurance as well. So you want to go ahead and get yourself together, get in place, and I want to go ahead and help assist people with understanding that there are multiple ways of building a legacy. You can start from scratch and work your way up. There's nothing wrong with that. I think people nowadays want the fast, quick, easy way, when that is a short-term way of failing. So you want to go ahead and build up slow. You want to have the foundations together. You want to be educated on your path that fits you. Don't try to mimic whatever somebody else is doing. Do something that's going to accommodate your lifestyle and your family and what you project as your future goals. So you want to be prepared for that. Um, Now, the event that's coming up in April is actually April 14th, and it's going to be um, in the area of Tamarack. We are hosting a event that is called The Power of Being Seen. Kaí is going to be the keynote speaker. We also have Charles Esposito, who is with um, JK Closing. He's a real estate attorney. And they're going to be our speakers for that evening. We're going to have a couple of more speakers. We haven't finalized them yet. We also are going to have some people that are going to be having little tables for people to come by and get marketing materials and stuff. We have CBG home inspections. So he'll be out there promoting his materials for inspections. He's a very good inspector. I've worked with him before in my transactions. So, I do have experience dealing with him when it comes to getting a home inspection for your clients. So this event was created so that real estate professionals, that's any professionals in the real estate field. So that would be if you're appraiser, home inspector, if you're closing company, if you do photography, if you do anything that has to do with the real estate industry, we want you there. We want you to understand your power and how it is to present yourself and network with people in the industry to grow your business. That's the purpose of this event. We want you to hone in on your image and how you present yourself to the public as well as to your industry vendors, and work together to establish more of a legacy for your business and grow.
Incredible. So people are coming to learn, they're coming to network, they're coming to expand. And you're saying if you have anything to do with any of these trades, any of these services, to just make sure that you're in the room.
Absolutely. It is being hosted by South Florida Board of Realtors, which is NARAB, National Association of Real Estate Brokers, South Florida chapter. We are the ones hosting the event. Like I said, my department, which is the education chair, is the one that's hosting this particular event. It is called Realtors Week. So we have a couple of events going on that week that different departments will be heading over, but I am over the chair department. So I'm sorry, education chair department. So I am hosting this event for our department, along with my co-chair, which is Michael McIntosh. So we are working on establishing this event and making sure that it is successful. And we hope that everyone comes out and join and listens to Kai, and meet with her. I mean, she's an awesome person. You have no idea the dramatic change that has happened to me since meeting her. So it's been an honor. I appreciate you so much. And I look forward to seeing you at the event on the 14th.
Likewise, everybody, please make sure that you are there. I have the link just in case, or you can just search it on Eventbrite and find it. Can you say the name of the event one more time?
It is The Power of Being Seen.
April 14th. And see y'all there. You can even meet Evaughn.
I'll be there.
Yes. All of the legacy building, legacy making things that we have been talking about today here on this conversation is embodied by this woman. So we've got lots to explore. And just to wrap up today's conversation, we have been reminded that ownership is not about necessarily only about what we acquire, but also about who we choose to become as a result. When women allow themselves to be seen, to lead, and to just take up space, we don't just change our lives, we shift what's possible for the entire community and even the generations that follow. So thank you so much, Evaughn, for your leadership and for the work that you're doing to open doors and expand access for women to build their legacy and also their wealth. And thank you so much to everyone who joined us. You, yes, you, who is watching this. If today's conversation spoke to you, this is your invitation to really step into ownership in whatever way it is calling you forward. And until next time, thank you so much for being a part of 100 Women to Watch. Bye for now.
Bye.